everybody, my name is Emma. In this video I'm going to show you a really fun, simple and unique printing technique that you can do at home using everyday objects. I'm then going to talk through how to use them prints to make a hanging bird for your home, or you could send one in the post to a friend. So the materials you need for this workshop is an empty cereal box with a cream or off-white inside, some kitchen foil or the inside of a clean crisp packet, scissors, glue, a pencil, string or wool, a toothbrush and some water, some different coloured felt tips and some sellotape. First thing we need to do is cut the front and the back rectangle from the cereal box. One of these rectangles is going to be used for your printing plate. Ooh, so there's one. And the other side is what you're going to make your birds with. And then what you're going to do is cut one of them in the middle, so you'll have two smaller rectangles. Okay, we can put them to the side for now. So now, with the larger of the rectangle, we're going to cover it with some kitchen foil. Just add a little bit of sellotape just to hold it down. And that's your printing plate. If you're using a crisp packet, if you just cut down the side carefully and cut the end off, and open it up, you're just going to stick it onto your rectangle from the cereal box. And there we have two different types of printing plates. You've made your printing plate, and now we're going to add some felt tips on top and do some printing. So I've chosen a range of different felt tips here. I've got some pinks, some purples and some greens. You need to make sure that when you put in your felt tip on, it's the same size as your smaller rectangle that you cut from the cereal box. Just going to add some marks on top of the foil. Be really loose with this. It's just about adding some different colours to create some texture. You could try and overlap the colours so they blend, and try and cover as much of the foil or the crisp packet as much as possible. Just be really loose and free. Purple. Okay, so I feel like I've covered a lot of the plate now, and you're going to add some water using a toothbrush. So if you just tap the toothbrush to get the excess water off, and you're going to move your finger across the toothbrush to spray the water on top of the felt tips. You don't want massive pools of water. We just want to make sure that it's all wet. So I'm just going to add a tiny little bit more to make sure I get a good print. Make sure it's all covered. Okay, and then you place your zero box on top and give it a really good rub. And that's your first print. You can do a print with the second rectangle. One of these will be enough to make one bird. And also you can try and print on different textures as well. So now you've done your printing, we're going to start making the bird. You can use the template that's there for you to use of the bird, or you can draw your own. You just need to make sure that you're only using half of your print, because the bird is going to get flipped over, so there's another side of the bird at the bottom. So you can draw your own bird, but you just need to make sure that it fits on your rectangle. So I'm just going to draw around this. We're going to use a pencil just in case the cardboard's still a little bit damp and we don't want any bleeding from felt tip or a fine liner. And then I'm going to flip this over and place the bird on the other side and draw around again. If you want to make your own template out of a bit of the cereal box that's left over, or some paper that you've got lying around, it might be handy for you to do that first. And the little space in between the tail, the wing fits perfectly inside there. So that's just another thing to think about if you're going to draw your own template. And then the other side just fits in there. Okay, I'll get these cut out. So I've cut my birds out, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some string inside before we stick the two pieces together. So if you take a length of string or wool, whatever you're using, and you're going to add it inside using a bit of sellotape. Try and have it so it's kind of towards the belly of the bird. Stick that down. And now you're going to stick the other bit on top. Sandwich that in. Don't worry, sometimes it might not line up perfectly, but you can cut the excess cardboard away. Good press. Okay, there's a little bit there on the tail that I'm going to snip off. Okay, tiny little bit at the top. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll stick the wings on. When you get the wings, just try and make sure that they line up as well, so you can't see the cereal box. And there we go. We're ready to add some detail on now. So we're going to add some detail onto the bird now using some foil. So I've pre-cut two rectangles for the tail, 2 squares for the wing, and a smaller rectangle for the beak. If you're not using foil, you can use spare bits of your printing that you've done to add texture onto the beak. And the wing, I've just added some little dashes. And this is actually from the inside of a chocolate wrapper that I've just added a little bit of shine onto that tail. So the first thing to do is we're going to do the tails. So with a little bit of glue, just add some glue on one side on both the tails. Put the foil on top, give it a good squash. Then I'm going to turn it over. Some glue on the other side. We're going to basically like wrap the tails up. Make sure you're pressing it all down. Okay, and then we're going to cut off the excess. This really makes the tails really shine if you hanging your bird in a window. What's really nice about the side bird as well is it fits really nice into an envelope for you to send in the post to somebody as a little surprise. Trim these little bits off. And then we're going to do the same to the wings with the square bits. So now we've added some detail to the tail and the wing. We're just going to add a little bit of shiny detail onto the beak. So with your smaller bit of foil that you have left, we just cut it in half. And add some glue. And add one bit on. Turn it over. And then stick your bit on top. And then you're just going to snip the excess away. You just smooth all the edges, and then the last two things to do is add a little loop on the end to hang it up somewhere. Oops. There we go. And a little eye detail. And there is your finished bird. Really hope you've enjoyed this workshop and enjoyed making your own bird at home. Now you know how to do this printing technique. You could create lots of different textures of prints and create different collages. I've made a little house with some of mine, and just enjoy your new technique that you've learned today. Have fun printing!